Let's explain to our friends behind the camera if there's anyone watching this.
Lofty heights.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Should we start by what is this meant to be? What are we doing in this bench?
What are we doing? So this is going to be a bit of an experiment, I guess. A creative experiment of doing a bit of filming with some interesting people, and also, I guess, working out if we can both hold each other accountable to releasing, to fulfilling creative projects and actually releasing them. I think both of us have different struggles in that way, where I get very excited by new things and I'm not so good at following things through and sticking to any kind of schedule. Or
Same.
I think you're better at being scheduled, though. You can produce things and then you just don't release them.
I think when it's for like my real work, yes.
Yeah.
As soon as it's something that is just me doing something, I get so scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. And I do it and I love the process of filming, getting in touch with people, doing the thing. When it comes to releasing it into the world, I freak out.
Yeah.
I'm so used to hiding behind a brand or a company that doing something like this is like, oh, this is me, this is you. If it flops, it's on us.
Yeah.
But these negative thoughts shouldn't be there.
Yeah. I think I have more of a thing where I find the process of making something that takes longer than a day, I find the middle part quite frustrating, and then I get very excited for the releasing it into the world at the end. So hopefully we'll just really balance each other out in that way.
Yes.
Which I think would be good.
I think also that's to finish with this initial rambling, I guess. Doing this with you, it feels really good because, again, I have support from another friend and another creative peer, so we can bounce off each other in a way. And like you said initially, keep each other accountable. So it's like we're a mini team, which is nice.
Yeah. I think sometimes when I do my own creative work, I struggle that there's no one else to sign it off with. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me saying, this is good enough. Yeah. I find it really helpful to send it to someone else and be like, that's good enough. And if it's sending it to someone else who has also been involved in making it, it's important to you that it's very good as well. So I guess that's sort of the why we're doing this together. Have we still been really vague about what this is? This is hopefully going to be a podcast, YouTube show. Yep.
Yes. That's
We're going to be interviewing people.
We want to showcase, this is a corporate me coming out.
Oh yeah, go on.
We want to showcase the local talent and some of, I guess, hidden voices in a way.
For sure.
There's so many amazing people in general in Folkestone and in Kent. Illustrators, photographers, artists, crafters, makers. And yes, you might have seen them on Instagram. You might have met them in a coffee shop. But what are their stories? Something I would love to get through this experiment, let's say, is getting into the creative mind. Because we see so much of the end product on Instagram. Like people might see you, Jen, the illustrator, which is your official name. You don't have a surname. That's your
my official birth on my birth certificate. Jen, the illustrator.
That's what's on your passport.
Yeah.
But how did you get to where you are today? Do you have any fears? Do you experience anxiety in your work? Do you have any doubts? Any learnings that you would share with other creatives, and going into those conversations with other people that hopefully would inspire other creatives to feel like they're not alone in how they feel?
Yeah. I think something that we've both leaned on each other really heavily with through our friendship has been creative support in that way. And I think as well with a lot of my other creative friends, I get to lean on them for creative support. So my illustration work is across many different sorts of things. I don't always have all the knowledge that I need, to go into, say, publishing or filming or animation. And it's really useful for me to be able to just like go for a coffee with one of those friends and say, like, how does this work? How do I work out rates for publishing? What's the best animation software I can use if I know nothing about animation? And I think having that creative network has been really useful to me. And I don't think everybody has that. It feels really intimidating to make a creative career in the world, in your, in your little place in the world. It can feel really daunting to commit to it in any way.
I guess in a nutshell, that's what this is going to be. So conversations with other creatives, and we know being a creative is such a huge term, like what is a creative, but we can explore that through these conversations. Maybe there's someone out there who doesn't know you. Could you explain what you do, who you are?
Yeah, I'm mainly an illustrator, but I call myself that mostly just because that's the work I like to chase. So I'm also a graphic designer. I've also done some animation. Yeah, mainly I'm an illustrator. I do a lot of work for commercial clients. I try and balance the commercial side of work with a lot of like nonprofit and charity work. Oh, and I'm also the organizer of the Folkestone Illustration Festival 2026. Come. Come to it. Is that everything I am? I think so. Oh, and I'm the founder of the Funshine Club, which is what this podcast is under.
I was going to say.
Yeah. When we were debating what we should call it, the Funshine Club already exists as my own. It's currently just an illustration club. I think that's all. That's everything I am.
Yeah. You're more than that, but yeah, in a nutshell.
and I'm your friend.
You're my friend. You're a dog mom.
Everything I am. But that's how I make my living and identify myself as.
And I think this is why it makes sense in a way for you to conduct these interviews, because you have an insight into what it means to be a creative, to make a career out of it, to deal with clients. You also have quite a big network, not just in Folkestone, but outside. Yeah, so I'm very excited to see you having those conversations. And
I love a yap. I love a yap.
Hence why we're doing this.
Yeah. And do you want to introduce yourself? What sort of part you're going to have in this?
Yes. So this is, I guess, a one-off. I'm going to be behind the camera.
Yeah.
I guess officially in my profession, I am a communications manager. And at the moment, I'm more specialized in science communications, which sounds so different from what this is going to be.
That's the point of it, though.
That is the point of it, because before my current job, I used to work for a big arts university in London, and I do miss having closer contact with the creative world. And I love how the creative mind works. Like, scientists are fascinating and I love them, but they operate very differently to how creatives do. So, and again, like living in Folkestone, knowing you and knowing so many talented people here, I just wanted to do something that felt more of my own. That yes, this does feel a little bit like what I do in my day-to-day work, but also I can make it my own with you. Like we can set the rules, we can set the branding, the frequency, the tone. I'm excited to have that. And in terms of my role in this, so I'll be behind the camera, filming, editing, together with you, producing, helping to choose who we want to invite. Maybe from time to time, I might do a little guest appearance. I might pop in. And I've been looking forward to producing a video podcast for a long time. So this feels like the right thing to do.
Yeah. And the sun came out for us today, so we're going to take that as a sign that this was meant to be.
Yes.
I think sometimes with these things, it might be good to say, we're going to release one every month or every 2 months. That's not what we're doing.
No.
That's not what we're doing. We're not putting a schedule on it. We both have a lot of other things going on as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with the flow. They're going to happen when they're going to happen. And that feels quite a nice way to do it.
Like when we were discussing whether or not to do this, again, my corporate brain just goes, what's the frequency, like what's the KPIs,
Yes.
you know, like
Yeah, you started lining up our next 10
Yeah.
episodes and I was like, oh.
I was like, calm down.
That's one really easy way to like overwhelm me and make me be like, oh no.
And you're like, stay away from me.
Commit.
So again, this is good because it goes from making something feel overwhelming and that it's going to be too much to, you know what, we'll just take it as it comes. And remember that we're doing this for fun.
This is for fun.
Hence the Funshine Club.
Funshine Club. It's for fun.
Yeah, and see how it goes. And I'm just excited to actually film, edit, and publish it.
And publish. Oh my gosh. So nice. I think also actually something I wanted to add was one of the reasons we wanted to do it, which we spoke about a couple of weeks ago when we went for coffee, was actually jealousy a little bit, wasn't it? If we're going to be frank.
Yeah.
We weren't name any names, of course, but for me, there was a person who was actually a friend of mine who was, you know, very successful and was getting a lot of things that I didn't have. And I realized that I was feeling annoyed about it instead of feeling happy for my friend. And I really sort of examined those feelings and realized like this person has those things because they've gone and got them. They've gone and done them. They've chased it. And they worked really hard to do so. So I kind of turned it on its head a little bit and decided like, oh, I want to go and actually chase the things that this person has, I suppose. And I started doing that. And like a couple of the things that I was chasing have already happened. So I think jealousy, a lot of the negative emotions we have are actually very useful emotions as long as you examine them and then know how to utilize them and sort of look at the root and the solution. That was that for me. And I like what we spoke about, you were having a sort of a similar thing with a similar person, not a similar person, but like you were also experiencing that with a person in your life.
Yeah, like more sort of in my field, someone I know, mostly only through LinkedIn. We connected a few months ago and...
Oh my God, you're dropping clues. Be so careful.
Don't look on my LinkedIn connections.
Yeah.
I have more than 500. So.
Yeah. Good luck.
And again, it was very similar feeling of this person is doing so many things that I would love to do. And instead of thinking, how can I make them happen for me as well and get my ass off the chair and go and do the things, I was just feeling bitter.
Yeah.
And be like, why do they have those things that I want? It's just so childish. Yeah. But also, like you said, these feelings are like propulsors that make you go and be like, wait a minute, I can stop whining and actually go and do the thing.
Yeah.
Because what it is just fear. Fear is what stops us from trying and do the things. And if we generally want something in our lives, you just have to go and go get it.
Go get it. This is a motivational bro podcast.
What is happening?
Go achieve your dreams.
No, but yeah, so I think it's interesting that we both opened up with each other and said...
Because we were both surprised at each other that it was like, oh, because we're not outwardly bitter people.
No.
You know, so...
And I always feel, you know, I'm like, I love being a cheerleader for friends and people I know. And like you said, if someone has worked really hard... Yes, get all your flowers, all your stars. Like, I'm so happy for you. But it's those specific cases where it's someone doing what you really want to do and they're doing it and you're not. It's like a reflection on yourself and be like, I'm being such a coward.
Especially because with both of us, these people were doing very specific things and they just got there first. And we were just like... What? Like, I was going to do that though. Yeah,
so I think, again, it's something that would be interesting to explore through conversations, like some of those feelings that we don't talk about openly on social media or externally because we're all trying to be our perfect selves, you know, like showing the shiny final products, presenting ourselves in a certain way. And I really want to make sure that we have honest, raw conversations in this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually coming away with useful advice and realistic advice, like not just all sunshine and rainbows. Like there's loads of tricky things to make creative things happen in your life. Even if you don't want it to be your job, there's lots of things in the way that mean you can't indulge that. We've already got quite a few people that we want to talk to specifically about actually fitting it in and that sort of thing. And dealing with the negative emotions around it, dealing with jealousy, fear, because I think we both deal with those things in different ways as well.
Yeah, very true. So, yeah, should we just then say that we're going to be working on our first set of interviews when we can?
Whenever we want.
Whenever we want.
Whenever we want.
Just, keep an eye out and all that.
We're going to get this one out and then sort the next one. That's the one at a time.
So, just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
That sounds so awful. Can we say something?
I think, unfortunately, there are cliches.
Ew.
Stay tuned. Keep your eyes. Watch this space.
Like and subscribe for more.
We don't really know from where we're putting this
Hit
yet.
the bell button. Oh my god.
Do what you want.
Do what you want.
We're gonna do what we want.
Yeah.
You go do what you want.
Just be free.
I think we got everything.
Let me make sure the camera's still
Sure, yeah. Do that. I'm gonna do some star jumps. I got loads of nervous energy. I hope it's not gonna pick up too many bugs. It's very like the
Hi.
Welcome. There's a squirrel.
There's a squirrel.
There's a squirrel.
Cute.
Aww.
Don't knock the camera. So should we stop?
We should stop. We'll stop. Okay.
Bye. See ya.